Last time I was pretty funny and you all enjoyed my presentation, but we're going to get serious today. I'm going to present to you some of my own personal research. None of you know this, but I am actually the world's foremost expert on WOOKs. And you're laughing, but Google my name and WOOK, and you will find out. All right, so has anyone had a WOOK encounter or knows what a WOOK is? Great, I'm going to tell you all about them, so in case you do have a WOOK encounter, you'll know what to do. All right, so the North American WOOK is an elusive species that is nomadic, and it generally travels with large arena jam bands like Phish or any of the Dead spin-offs, Widespread Panic. They're scavengers. They're mostly not there for the music, but there for any sort of inebriants they need to survive, or any sort of junk food that they need to survive. How do we identify a WOOK? Well, WOOK comes from the term Wookiee, and those of you who might be familiar with the science fiction film Star Wars know what a Wookiee is. It's, here we have an image of a Chewbacca. Oh, it doesn't even work on that
No, it
screen.
doesn't work on this.
Oh, bummer. Well, here we have Chewbacca, and he's known to be hairy and kind of smelly. And you can see down here we have a WOOK, excessive hair on the scalp and face and body, and also produces a pungent odor. Same thing with the female of the species, the Wookette. Pungent odor, lots of hair, but not on the face. Now, another way to identify WOOK is by their excessive inebriation in the parking lot or in the campgrounds. Generally, they need illegal recreational drugs to survive, so you can see them either passed out in the lot or in the camping grounds, or not being able to walk, or looking for free stuff. The WOOK's typical diet: cheap beer, Pop-Tarts, nitrous oxide, and whatever they can bum off you. Now here we see a WOOK in their natural habitat. This is a campground at a large arena show. I believe this is Deer Creek Music Center in Noblesville, Indiana. You generally find WOOKs like this, just randomly laid out like that, taking a rest from their busy schedule of bumming things off people. Here's also their natural habitat. This is the lot, the parking lot, where generally vendors set up things to sell. You will see WOOKs selling imaginary products like advice, hugs, and pages from the Helping Friendly book, which does not exist. Here's inside the show. You'll rarely find the WOOK inside the show because they are in the campgrounds and parking lots, either passed out or stealing things out of your car. Rarely. If they can score a free ticket, they'll go in, but most of the time the drugs and the alcohol are more important to them, so that's why they're a migratory species, so they need to get those things to survive. Here we see their migration pattern. Generally migrating from the west coast to the east, following these bands and festivals along to scavenge the food that they need to survive. You see them they can sort of spread a little bit north and south, but this is generally their typical migration pattern. And here we can see the WOOK population has actually gone quite up significantly since the late 90s. This is due to Jerry Garcia's death. When Jerry Garcia died, for some reason, the jam band model became really very popular, and lots of sort of what we would call hangers-on latched on to, say, the Phish tour or the Grateful Dead spin-off bands and started touring, and WOOKs found out that this was a great way to find sustenance. So they started to follow the bands too, and we can see that it has shot up significantly since 1999. Because of the high amount of WOOKs now, the population has gotten a little out of control, especially in the state of Colorado. The state of Colorado has now started issuing WOOK hunting licenses, and there's been a lot of trophy WOOK hunting clubs around Colorado. As you can see here is a WOOK hunter and her prize trophy. And they're hoping that this will help control the population of WOOKs in the state. Now, if a WOOK approaches you, Do not look them in the eye because they are most likely inebriated on some sort of substance. It would startle them. Do not feed them because then others will see that and they'll start to flock around you. I would say the best thing to do is if your car is nearby is to get into your car slowly. Don't startle them. Or my favorite tactic is to pull out your cell phone, pretend to call a friend, and walk in the opposite direction. Now, when you have in order to have a good time at your local music festival, remember, be safe, have fun, and don't feed the wooks. Thank you.
Chris, I have a question.
Yeah?
Can you